Hello students, I would like to do a quick recap of week 1, introduce week 2, and talk about a few homework pointers. First of all, week 1, we discovered there are 3 main financial statements. There are actually 4, but we will focus on the income statement, which has revenues and expenses, not the same thing as cash or assets. This measures the profit for a company. Then we use that net income if the expenses are less than the revenue. You have net income. If the expenses are greater, it's called a net loss. So you're providing services and charging your customers. That's your revenue amount. But then you have some costs associated with providing those services. We'll take that either monthly, quarterly, or annual net income and add it to the company's savings account, which is referred to as the retained earnings on our second financial statement. Then the internal equity or ownership retained earnings would have a new ending balance. Common stock is the external ownership. After you have completed this second financial statement, you create the balance sheet. All of your financial statements are for a period of time, a month, quarter, or a year, except for the balance sheet. That is at a point in time. It could be today's balances. It could be tomorrow's balances. But it will show our accounting equation, assets equal liabilities plus equity, and this always has to balance. You really need to focus on learning which accounts are classified in each category. So under the everything I need to know about accounting, this is a good reference sheet. It tells you all the accounts that are liability accounts, assets, revenues, and which financial statement they're on. Then chapter 2, we're going to focus on debits and credits. Debits and credits can be relatively difficult to understand, but these diagrams on here talk about the fact that debits and credits will refer to how an account balance increases. Please don't associate the word debit with positive or the word credit with negative, because that's not always true. It's more like an in and an out. So you can see on the assets, the debit is on the left. Always the debit is on the left of the T accounts, but the assets go up with the debit. But if you are looking at your equity, the equity goes up with a credit. Make sure you watch the videos I have posted or the information on your interactive presentations to learn about chapter 2, debit and credit. Then the homework pointers, 3 things I want to say. First of all, if you have a homework question that has a hint on the left, please utilize it if you are stumped. It will walk you through the entire question. Second, what I want to say is when you work on a problem and you hit check my work, then you will need to make sure it might say that the problem is correct but incomplete. So when you are looking at a problem and it has multiple parts, I would recommend that you do all the parts. So for instance, I just did the first journal entry here. If I check my work and I only get 2 per question, it's going to tell me these are right, but it's not complete. So I would want you to fill out everything that you can before you hit check my work. Now, when I return to the question, I can only check it one more time. If it says the question is not complete, you need to go back and see if there are some blanks or things that you forgot to fill in. Also, once you submit it, if you go up here and hit submit, you will then be able to view your previous answer. So basically, the only question I worked on was 9, but it will show me another grading of my work after I submit. And now I can go back into it and not redo the whole assignment, just fix the ones that have errors. I will have 2 more check my works on this second attempt per question. So important things to note, make sure you utilize the hints on the homework. You do have 2 submissions, and on the second submission, you will have a previous answer, so you don't have to refill it out, just correct the ones that are wrong. You get new check my works and make sure that it says the question is correct and complete before you assume that it is all correct. And the final thing I want to say is that we do have exams due on Mondays. So chapter 2 exam would be due next Monday. I believe that is June 19th. And then our chapter 3 exam is going to be proctored. So you will have to follow up with either getting Proctorio on your computer. It's just a download, an extension, or you can do it in person at the OTC campus, but you'll need to schedule that, or you can do it at another approved site, and you will also need to schedule that. I will send out an email with those details and on the announcement. But for now, please contact me if you have any questions and dive deep into debits and credits.